We're tracking a manhunt in Germany where at least 6 people have died in a shooting at a mall.
Fayette County now has its first Zika case after a child was born in Lexington testing positive for the virus.
Friends of the man accused of killing and dismembering his ex-girlfriend just can't believe he's capable of that crime. We're talking with them about the Patrick Jones they know.
This is WKYT News at 5.
There is a manhunt underway after another deadly shooting rampage.
The death toll is up to 9 people, all shot and killed at a mall in Munich, Germany. Police just confirmed the discovery of the 9th body, and they are checking to see if it could be one of the shooters. Riley Carlson is tracking the situation in our top story now at 5.
Police say at least one gunman is on the run in Munich after a deadly shooting at a crowded shopping center. People ran for safety after gunshots rang out at a fast food restaurant in the mall. Some carried children in their arms. Local media reports say a gunman ran through the mall firing on several shoppers before escaping towards a nearby metro station. Security forces shut down the city's transit system, and some people are reportedly still hiding in shops as authorities try to find the shooter or shooters responsible. Police are warning people to avoid public places until they get the chaotic situation under control. Riley Carlson for CBS News, London.
This is the second attack in Germany in less than a week. On Monday, a 17-year-old Afghan refugee wounded 4 people in an axe and knife attack on a train in Bavaria. ISIS claimed responsibility, but authorities believe the teen likely acted alone.
This morning, the Lexington Fayette County Health Department confirmed the city's first case of the Zika virus. It's been found in an infant whose mother traveled to an affected area early in her pregnancy. WKYT's Victor Puente talked to health officials who say there's no reason for the community to be concerned.
Like the other Zika cases found in Kentucky, this mother had traveled outside of the country. Fayette County's Commissioner of Health says they're still not taking any chances when it comes to mosquitoes. Kentucky's 10th Zika case follows the same pattern as the previous 9. Dr. Craig Humbaugh says this mother traveled to a Zika-affected area early in her pregnancy.
This is a case that we believe was transferred, the virus was transferred from a pregnant mother to a newborn baby.
That child was delivered in a Lexington hospital, although officials aren't saying which one. Humbaugh says the child showed the presence of Zika antibodies after being tested by the Centers for Disease Control, meaning it had the virus, but its body fought it off.
Neither mother or baby is a threat, a public health threat to people in this area at all. This is a disease that's primarily transmitted or spread by the bite of an infected mosquito.
Zika can also be transmitted sexually or from mother to child. The virus can cause microcephaly, or small head size, in children infected in the womb, along with other developmental issues. Humbaugh says there haven't been any cases of Zika-carrying mosquitoes in Kentucky, but they still suggest people drain any freestanding water they should see to help eliminate places they could lay eggs. Humbaugh advises pregnant women or women who plan on becoming pregnant to cancel or delay trips to Zika-affected areas of the world. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
While the child is not showing any adverse effects of the virus, Humbaugh says they recommend future testing and follow-up care.
Nothing on the planet deserves to be treated like this. That is how police describe the condition of a home where they found dozens of abandoned animals this morning. A neighbor alerted us to the problem on Melbourne Street in Winchester, and we were there as police arrived to investigate. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner shows us the situation that shocked police.
Police were called out to a home in Winchester to report there were multiple dogs laying out in the street. Police went up to the home and they say no animal should ever be treated this way.
A concerned neighbor called police when animals got out of the home last night, saying she found one dog dead in the street. When we arrived on Melbourne Street this morning, there were close to a dozen animals laying in the street. Police walked up to the home and said you couldn't take a step inside without walking through feces.
You have to clean up after animals, and obviously it's been weeks or months since anybody's, or maybe never, tried to clean up after them and take care of them.
Winchester police called in backup. The Clark County Animal Shelter geared up and went inside to gather the animals that hadn't gotten out. 15 were taken to the shelter. Not long after police pulled out, renters of the home pulled up.
They get food and water every god day. Oh wow, there's some cats running around. Look, they've been running around up here.
Those animals were checked out by a veterinarian and then taken to the Clark County Animal Shelter. In Clark County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
It is not clear yet what charges could be filed against the couple. Well, showers and storms are increasing across the region tonight.
And a few of them are packing somewhat of a punch. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. He's here with more on what to expect. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, those thunderstorms out there, hi guys, are ramping up across parts of central and especially eastern Kentucky, packing quite the punch with a lot of lightning and a lot of very heavy rains. And additional thunderstorms are developing just out ahead of that main line. Boy, Lexington, look to your east. Those skies are getting dark right now. Let's look at our Defender radar network. Thunderstorms stretching from US 23, Paintsville, Prestonsburg, back into the 460 corridor, West Liberty, into sections of Menifee County, and from Moorhead westward, we're picking up on a lot of heavy rain right now. That thunderstorm, by the way, just to the north of West Liberty, and another little thunderstorm along the Mountain Parkway southeast of Stanton. Here we go with the big show. Look at the tremendous amount of lightning showing up west of Moorhead towards Salt Lick and Owingsville, and that line of thunderstorms very slowly moving toward the east and southeast. And this thunderstorm on top of Mount Sterling has really just ramped up over the past little bit from folks around the Grassy Lick area down toward Pruitt, the bypass, and dealing with showers and thunderstorms to the north of that are packing a whole lot of lightning. Watch the creeks and the streams in these particular areas. We can get a whole lot of rain in a short amount of time. Lexington, again, most of that stuff has been off to our east. Whatever's out there to the south has been rather puny in nature so far. But as we go through the evening, we will continue to focus on those storms just to the east of Interstate 75, packing a lot of lightning and heavy rain. That flash flood threat on a local scale elevated for the next couple of hours.
Chris, thank you. Friends of the man charged in a gruesome Lexington murder say it is hard to believe.
Those friends were in court this afternoon as 24-year-old Patrick Jones faced a judge. Police say that he beat his ex-girlfriend, 20-year-old Haley Bourgeois, to death and dismembered her. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy talked to them about Jones, the Jones they say they know.
Patrick Jones's friends came here to support him. They're having a hard time believing the charges he's facing.
Mr. Jones, your attorney is here.
Jones's attorney spoke for him Friday afternoon. He appeared from jail via video conference during his arraignment. The judge entered a not guilty plea for the murder, tampering, and abuse of corpse charges Jones is facing. They're charges friends like Peggy Hinkle don't believe.
Patrick's a really good guy. I don't think he did it. I really don't think he did it.
Hinkle's been friends with Jones for almost 2 years.
Not one bit did I ever feel that he could harm a woman, especially Haley.
She knows both him and the victim, Jones's ex-girlfriend Haley Bourgeois.
They had a little boy together. I mean, what would make a man kill his baby mama? They was engaged. They was engaged to get married at one point.
Hinkle says the relationship was rocky at times, but she never saw signs he could or would hurt Bourgeois. Hinkle plans to be at Jones's next court appearance.
Jones will be back in court August 1st in Lexington. Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Jones, his mother, and his attorney all declined to comment at this time. A suspect in a Lexington shooting has been arrested in western Kentucky. 21-year-old DeCalveron Lewis is in jail in Hopkinsville on a robbery warrant. The shooting happened on March 25th on Red Mile Road. WHOP is reporting the warrant says Lewis pulled a gun on a man during a drug deal and the victim was shot after grabbing it. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
One day after Donald Trump accepted the GOP nomination for president, presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton took her campaign to Florida. Between rallies, Clinton paid a visit to the memorial to the victims of last month's shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Reports say Clinton will name her running mate while campaigning in Florida, but so far there has been no announcements. We're getting a sneak peek inside UK's new football practice facility. We'll take you on a tour coming up.
Countless Americans battle mental health problems. We'll show you how one woman is using music to help them cope. That's in Better Living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Stormy conditions out there, central and eastern Kentucky, and that is doing a number on the thermometers. Many of us failing to get out of the 80s this afternoon. Take a look at the numbers across central and eastern Kentucky, mid to upper 80s. And then you get to Moorhead, it's 79. How about Maysville, 71 degrees? Guess what's going on there? Oh, it is raining with showers and thunderstorms into those particular areas. To the north of us, this big Ohio Valley heat wave that has been yapped about in some weather circles for the past several days. This is it. It's normal. A lot of 80s showing up across central and eastern Kentucky and all across the Ohio Valley as well. Let's get into what is going on with the thunderstorm train, and I'm starting to see how some of these storms are trying to line up now just a little bit. That may be a signal for some at least local stream flooding. We go from the Paintsville area, Prestonsburg, back over towards Salyersville, West Liberty, starting to see some scattered stuff. A little thunderstorm popping here, not too far away from the Natural Bridge area. Now we go into northern parts of Morgan County, West Liberty. Boy, you're looking to your north toward the Zag and Wrigley areas and right on top of 519. It is coming down on the highway between Moorhead and West Liberty. Hey, did someone say Moorhead? Check it out. Interstate 64, Moorhead through Owingsville, over into Mount Sterling. You want to talk about a slow go right now for travelers along 64. Going to run into a lot of ponding of water on the roads here. Thunder and lightning really ramping up across Mount Sterling, heading into Bath County, most of Owingsville, toward Olympia, folks into the Preston area, and toward the east, Salt Lick, right on top of Lakeview Heights, Cave Run Lake, downtown Moorhead. Thunder and lightning galore with a ton of rain. Watch for some local stream and street flooding. Paris, hey, check this out. Some folks into downtown Paris now hearing some rain on the rooftop. So far into Lexington, for folks who are heading out to Lakeside Live this evening, we're dealing with dry conditions. For now, we'll see if that can change as we go through the next little bit. A little farther to the south and southwest, at least a scattering of thunderstorms out there. It's a pattern tomorrow that is going to try to repeat itself today. Doesn't mean if you had a storm today that you're going to have a storm tomorrow. Just means the overall setup is very similar. Upper 80s, you can hit 90 or a little better at your house if you have a day of full sunshine. But you got to get a day of full sunshine in a setup like this to hit 90 or better. Over the next week, rain chances start to ramp up late weekend into the early part of next week. And all told, over the next 7 days, look at some of the totals from the computer models, not including any one thunderstorm, just a general sense of some of the rains. That's a pretty good indication that I'm seeing over the next week, if not the next 2 weeks, that this stormy pattern we've been in for the better part of summer is just going to keep on keeping on. And again, the potential is there for some local high water issues. Guys, we'll watch those storms from Mount Sterling to Moorhead right now. Slow movers, a lot of lightning, and a lot of heavy rain.
Well, there's a lot of lightning. Every one of those on your map.
And those are only coming in 15 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a lot in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, the good news is we cleared the crash inbound Nicholasville Road at the Circle. Still slow traffic for inbound Nicholasville Road, more than outbound this afternoon because of that earlier collision. Drive times right now to Nicholasville, still about 13 to 15 minutes. Georgetown taking 16, and Winchester around 27 or so. Now back to you in the studio.
The UK football team is getting ready to kick off the season with a new practice facility. We'll take you on a tour next.
A man who admitted to his role in a murder gives a message to the victim's family. What he had to say during his sentencing on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Well, just driving by it, it is impressive. The Wildcats have a new place to get ready for the upcoming football season.
And today, UK opened up its new football practice facility to us for a tour. Our Lee K. Howard shows us around.
And good evening, guys. We just had a tour of this new facility this afternoon, the UK training facility, and it is one word that comes to mind is just wow. Unbelievable when you think about the kind of money and the kind of thought that they put into this facility for the UK football program. Every single corner, every single wall, every detail, nothing was left aside. This facility is state-of-the-art, not only for the SEC, but for the entire country in college football and even the NFL. And one of the biggest things that it will do for the UK football program is add a whole nother level of recruiting ability.
Well, I mean, the recruits that have been here, every one of them, every person former players, recruits, everybody has loved it. So it's been a wow factor since we started early on giving tours, and you add the stadium to it. And we take kids in our stadium, they say, wow. Now they walk in, they see all the blue seats in the bottom, they see our game day facility, and then they come in here and they're wowed.
And I got to tell you, if anyone questioned the amount of dedication or money that they would ever put toward this UK football program, Mitch Barnhart and his staff have answered that question. I told you before, the word that came to mind when I toured this facility this afternoon was wow. Now, of course, UK football fans and the football team will hope to turn that three-letter word into another three-letter word, win. We'll see if that all takes place. This facility is ready to go. Is the UK football team ready to go as well? Here outside the new UK football facility, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Very impressive, Lee K. And here's something you'll want to check out. UK's new practice facility. We have posted a 360-degree view of several areas, including the locker room and the training center, on WKYT's Facebook page. So you can move the picture around to get a good look at everything that they have done for $45 million.
Lexmark shareholders have approved a merger agreement. A group of investors led by Apex Technology Company Limited and PAG Asia Capital are acquiring the Lexington-based company for $3.6 million. The transaction must still meet regulatory approvals and customary closing conditions. The deal is expected to be complete in the second half of this year. Kentucky's unemployment rate fell slightly last month. June's jobless rate was 5%. That's down from 5.1% in May. The rate in June of last year was 5.3%. Many industries added jobs in June, especially construction, which added 1,300 jobs.
You can now see hippos at the Cincinnati Zoo for the first time in 20 years. The zoo opening its new Hippo Cove yesterday. The exhibit features two hippos, 24-year-old Henry and 17-year-old BB. Both came from the Show Me State. Henry was most recently at the Dickerson Park Zoo in Springfield, Missouri. BB came from the St. Louis Zoo. It's a one-of-a-kind camp. Started after one mother couldn't find the right one for her son. Her idea is helping families of special needs children on WKYT News at 5:30.
How one woman is using a musical to help people battling mental illness and keeping her children mosquito bite free. The story's next in Better Living. It's time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. More than half of all Americans will suffer from some form of mental illness at some point in their lives. Patients say the stigma associated with it can leave them feeling ashamed and isolated. Marley Hall shows us how one New York City woman is using her voice to inspire others to turn their pain into power.
Rachel Griffin can turn just about any feeling into a song.
Miss them and who I used to be. That's really sad. I know, isn't it sad?
The New York City music teacher suffers from anxiety and depression. Now is her mission to fight the stigma of mental illness.
Inside.
When she was diagnosed 10 years ago, finding treatment wasn't easy. She says talking about her illness was even harder.
I felt like I was defective. I felt like there was normal and then there was me.
Rachel says she poured her experience into writing and producing a musical. We Have Apples is a comedy set in a psych ward. Many scenes are inspired by Rachel's own struggles.
I'm willing to be vulnerable if I can help that one person who's in pain thinking this is never going to get better.
I have an ocean rolling in me. Her musical debuts in New York City this September.
If you had told me when I was really struggling that my life would look like it does today, I would not have believed it.
She hopes her work will help others share their stories. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
And get this, Griffin says she started writing her musical on her iPhone while riding the subway to work. It's that time of year where children spend more time outdoors, and that can translate into more mosquito bites. Doctors recommend keeping your children indoors in the early morning and at dusk when mosquitoes are more active. It's also good to wear long sleeves, long pants, and shoes with socks, but they're drawn to bright colors, so avoid those. While many people are concerned about the Zika virus, mosquitoes can spread other diseases diseases too.
Mosquitoes transmit viruses such as West Nile virus, and the bites can lead to skin infections.
A bug spray with DEET is also a must. Doctors say you only need a thin layer, and you can have your children wash it off when they come inside. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.